I woke up before my alarm, which almost never happens. The room felt different, like the air itself was holding its breath. I pushed aside the curtain and stared outside. The city was swallowed by a thick, pale fog that blurred everything: buildings, trees, even the street lights. Great. First day at a new school and the world decides to look like a horror movie set. I sat on the edge of my bed, trying to convince myself that today might not be a disaster. Spoiler, I didn't believe it. New city, new people, new everything. It felt like someone had deleted my old life and installed a glitchy update. A soft knock on my door. "Are you up already?" my mom asked. "Yeah," I muttered. She smiled, the kind of smile parents make when they hope you're okay but can't actually fix anything. 10 minutes later I was outside, walking through the fog with my headphones hanging uselessly around my neck. Even music couldn't calm me down. The road to school passed by the old city park, the one people kept whispering weird stories about. Missing pets, strange lights, shadows that moved on their own. I never believed in any of that. At least not until I heard it. A sound, faint, distant, impossible to describe, like something calling my name, but from somewhere deep inside the fog. And that's when everything changed. I stopped walking. At first, I thought it was just my imagination messing with me, stress, nerves, whatever. But then it came again, clearer this time, sliding through the fog like it knew exactly where I was. Hey, not loud, not threatening, just familiar, which made it worse. I turned around, but the street behind me was empty. The fog was so thick it felt like I was staring into wet cotton. My heartbeat picked up, fast and uneven. I tried to laugh it off, but the sound died in my throat. Voices don't just appear out of nowhere, and they definitely don't sound like me, because that's what it was. My own voice, distant, quiet, like an echo from a dream I couldn't remember. I stepped backward, forcing myself to breathe normally. "This is stupid," I whispered. "It's just the fog playing tricks." The voice answered, "Don't leave." My legs froze. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but curiosity is a dangerous thing, and it's always been my worst habit. So instead of sprinting away like any sane person, I took a tiny step toward the sound. That's when I noticed the shape, barely visible, a silhouette standing in the fog near the old park gates, tall, still, watching me. I blinked, and the silhouette shifted, not moved, not walked, but shifted, like it skipped a frame in reality. I swear the air around me got colder. "Who are you?" I called out. The silhouette tilted its head slowly, as if trying to remember how that motion worked. Then, in my own voice again, it whispered, "I'm you." My stomach dropped. My brain tried to come up with any logical explanation, reflection, hallucination, prank, but none of them fit. None of them explained how the silhouette's shoulders trembled like static, or how the fog around it pulsed like it was alive. I took one step back, then another. The silhouette took a step forward, but the foot didn't touch the ground. It floated, glitching for a second before snapping back into place. I turned and ran. I didn't stop until I reached the school gates, my lungs burning and my hands shaking so hard I could barely hold my backpack strap. Students walked around me like nothing was wrong, like reality wasn't unraveling behind me. Maybe I could pretend I imagined it, but then I noticed something on my wrist, a faint, glowing mark, shaped like a thin, vertical line, pulsing softly under my skin, and it pulsed in the exact rhythm of my heartbeat. I didn't tell anyone at school what happened. What was I supposed to say? "Hey, I saw a floating copy of myself inside a sentient fog and now my wrist glows." Yeah, perfect way to get sent to a counselor. So I kept my sleeve pulled down, hiding the mark. But even covered, I could feel it, a faint warmth, almost like a heartbeat under my skin. Every few minutes it pulsed harder, like it was reacting to something around me or someone. By lunch I couldn't focus on anything. My mind kept replaying the silhouette in the fog, the way it moved, the way my own voice came out of it, how wrong everything felt. The cafeteria noise was drowning me. Voices, laughter, metal trays, all blending into a buzzing mess. I needed quiet. I slipped up the side doors and headed toward the backfield, where no one ever goes. The wind was cold, sharp enough to wake me up a little. I sat under the old bleachers, finally able to breathe until the mark burned. Not lightly, not a pulse. A sudden, stabbing heat that made me flinch and grab my wrist. What now? I hissed through my teeth. Then I heard it. Not the voice, not the whisper. A static-like crackle right behind me. I twisted around, nothing there, just the empty field and the overcast sky. But the mark reacted again, hotter this time, like it was warning me. And that's when I realized something that made my whole body go cold. The fog wasn't here, but something else was. A shadow flickered near the far edge of the bleachers, quick and thin like a glitch in my vision. I blinked hard. It flashed again, closer this time, too fast to be a person, too smooth to be an animal. I stood up, backing away. "Stay away from me," I muttered, hating how shaky my voice sounded. The shadow obeyed. It froze completely, then it slowly stretched upward, as if standing to its full height, until it was tall enough to brush the underside of the bleachers. Its form was vague, humanoid in the loosest possible way, but its edges, they jittered like a corrupted video frame. And then it spoke, not in my voice, not in any voice I recognized, but in a layered whisper like multiple versions of the same sentence playing on top of each other. "You shouldn't run. He sees you now." My breath caught. "Who?" The shadow twitched violently, like something was pulling it apart from the inside. Then it pointed at me. Not a hand, more like a jagged extension of darkness. "The one you met. The one in the fog." My heart dropped. I felt the world tilt slightly around me, reality thinning for a moment. The shadow continued, its voice cracking like broken speakers. "He wants you back." That was enough. I bolted, sprinting across the field as the shadow's voice stretched into a distorted screech behind me. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I ran all the way home, slammed the door, locked every lock, and pressed my back to the wall, trying desperately to breathe normally. Silence, finally. But the moment I relaxed, the mark on my wrist pulsed again, slow, deliberate. And then it formed a second glowing line beside the first, like a tally mark, like a countdown. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the fog, the silhouette, the shadow glitching under the bleachers, and the mark, the second glowing line, the countdown. By morning, the glow had faded slightly, but the two lines were still there, carved under my skin like someone branded me from the inside. I didn't know what would happen when it reached zero, but the idea of waiting felt worse than doing something. So I decided to go back, not to the school, not to the field. To the park. The place where everything started. The fog hadn't returned, but the park still looked wrong, emptied out, colorless, too quiet for a Saturday. The trees barely moved, even though the wind was sharp enough to sting my cheeks. I walked down the path toward the pond until I reached the exact spot where I'd first heard the whisper calling my name. And the moment I stepped there, the world shifted. The colors around me dimmed, not fading like a sunset, more like a screen losing signal. The ground under my feet felt softer, the air heavier, thicker. I swallowed hard and whispered, "I know you're here." Nothing. Then the mark on my wrist pulsed again, not heat this time, but cold, freezing cold. A thin ribbon of fog curled around my ankles. Then another. Then more. Within seconds the entire park drowned in white, rising up so fast I couldn't see the ground anymore. I spun around, panic rising. But the fog swallowed everything, trees, benches, sky. The world shrank to a white void. And then I saw him. The silhouette. Not far away, standing perfectly still, facing me. But this time, it wasn't shaped exactly like me. It was broader, taller, its edges clearer, sharper. Its form flickered like a projection fighting interference. And when it moved, it didn't walk, it glided forward smoothly, feet never touching the ground. My instinct screamed at me to run, but my legs wouldn't move. No, they couldn't. Something in the fog held me in place. The figure stopped a few feet from me. And then it spoke. Not with a whisper, not with a layered voice, but with a voice I actually recognized. My own, older, deeper, echoing slightly. You returned sooner than I expected. My heart hammered in my chest. What are you? The figure tilted its head, studying me like a scientist examining a failed experiment. I am what you become. The air punched out of my lungs. That's impossible. Everything here is impossible, it said. This place bends to what you fear. And to what I need. My voice shook. Why are you following me? Why did you mark me? I didn't mark you. He did. My blood ran cold. Who? The fog thickened behind the silhouette, and something vast shifted inside it. A shape too big, too wide, too wrong to fully understand. Only a faint outline appeared. Lynn's wings. I couldn't tell. My mind refused to process it. The silhouette lowered its voice. The fog is not alive. It is a door. And the thing behind me. It opened because you stepped too close. You heard it. It heard you. Now it wants you. I staggered backward. Why me? You answered. The figure said simply. You listened when you shouldn't have. The fog creature behind it pulsed like a heartbeat. The mark on my wrist seared again. A third glowing line appearing beside the other two. My chest tightened. Stop, I pleaded. Just tell me how to get rid of it. The silhouette leaned close. Its face inches from mine, its features now disturbingly similar to my own, like a corrupted mirror. You can't get rid of it, it whispered. Then it lifted its hand and gently tapped my wrist. But you can choose how the countdown ends. Before I could speak, the fog surged upward, swallowing the world whole. I fell. No, I was pulled downward, through the fog, through the cold, through something thick and alive. Then a gasp, air burning my lungs, hard ground beneath me. I was back in the park, but the fog was gone, and on my wrist, 3 glowing lines. The countdown halfway done. I didn't sleep the night before. My mind kept spinning, replaying every moment when someone laughed at me, every time I stayed quiet, every time I pretended I didn't care. But this morning felt different. I wasn't suddenly brave or magically confident. I was just tired of hiding from myself. When I walked into school, the hallway buzzed like always, but something in me felt calmer. I wasn't planning some dramatic speech or big revenge. I just wanted to stop shrinking. At lunch, the usual group sat at their table. One of them noticed me walking by and made a joke, the same kind he always made. Normally, I would have forced a smile or ignored it, but today my voice moved before my fear could stop it. Hey, I said, that's not funny. And I'm done pretending it is. For a second, the entire table froze. No one expected me to talk back. Honestly, I didn't expect me to talk back. My hands were shaking, but I didn't back off. One of them muttered something like, relax, it was just a joke. But the others, they didn't laugh. They just looked unsure, confused, maybe even embarrassed. I walked away, and for the first time ever, I felt tall. Later that day, during class, someone tapped my shoulder. It was a girl I barely talked to. She just said, I'm glad you said something. Then she smiled, small but real. That single moment felt louder than the joke earlier. When school ended, I stepped outside into the cold air and let myself breathe. I wasn't suddenly a new person. I didn't fix everything, but I took one step, my step, and maybe that's how real change works. Not with a dramatic moment, but with small choices that slowly build the person you want to be. As I walked home, I realized something simple and kind of powerful. I wasn't the joke. I was the one who finally chose to speak. And for the first time in a long time, I felt proud of myself.